I'm also interested because you mentioned that there was like a heavy kind of libertarian bent, or I believe you mentioned, and that's something we've discussed a little bit on this show. Is kind of how some people on the left, or the progressive or socialist or whatever you want to call it, left movement. I feel like personally can definitely convert some libertarian voters, people that maybe voted for Bernie in the primary and then turned around and voted for Joe Jorgensen. Many people that I know did that, or people that I'm aware of did that. Zach mentioned Joe Rogan earlier. I think he did that. He was a Bernie supporter, and then he voted for Joe Rogan. It's not uncommon to see it all. And Joe Jorgensen, sorry. What did I say?
Joe Rogan voted for Joe Rogan. That's coming in 2024, guys. He's inspired by his recent guest.
It's going to be Joe Rogan, Elon Musk unity ticket. Fuck. Elon Musk can't be president. It's going to be
Kanye or whatever.
Kanye.
Joe Rogan, Tulsi Gabbard, 2024.
That's the most cursed thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh my God.
If I put that out into the ether, I'm going to drive my car off a cliff, but
deserves.
But the point is that, like, libertarians, I feel like a lot of the voters, at least, don't actually seriously believe in economic libertarianism. They're not like anarcho-capitalists that believe in like corporate supremacy over everyone's, right to live, and like all this horseshit that the actual hardcore libertarians believe. It seems like most libertarian voters they want to like smoke their weed, shoot their guns, and not have to deal with like the big government, whatever that means. But I don't think many of them would turn away healthcare or like a universal basic income or something like that would genuinely help so many people in this country. So I'm just interested to hear a little bit more about your strategy of kind of straddling that, left, right divide, and kind of hoping to, soak up some of those libertarian minded voters.
It's funny because, whenever you talk about like, oh, you want to appeal to this or you want to appeal to that, with like left and right voters, and sometimes it can come off like, oh, I'm going to be a centrist. Fuck no. That's no. And that's kind of the mistake that I think a lot of people make when they run for office. For me, it's more of like, I'm more focused on, and the reason why I like the libertarian stuff, like it's funny you bring that up, is it's like I'm trying to get more people that are like anti-authority, like that kind of approach, than conservative ideals. It's like it's easier to get people to get on board with anti-authority stuff. So
HST freak power style.
Like it's funny because so many that I've talked to, you're right. They don't actually believe in anything economically. It's more of just like, leave me alone. Yeah. So it's easy to get them on board with things like, hey, defund the police. They're like, hell yeah, that sounds great. Or, I'm like, I think all drugs should be decriminalized at a minimum. And they're like, hell yeah, sounds great. Just leave me alone. And exactly. And it's like, I have guns. Like, I am a veteran. I have guns, literally. We're cool. So for the most part, people are never really off-put by that. And they can usually, like when we talk about healthcare, a lot of times they just have, the wrong information, I guess, when it comes to like healthcare, for instance. Like they're like, oh, death panels. And I'm like, no, death panels are insurance companies. Yeah. And it's just a conversation. But for the most part, well, and then you can also get into like the fact that I hate both parties. And then it's like, okay, yeah, we're cool there. We're friends. We got it. I rarely meet people that like either party. So that's good. And then a lot of it for my district, we have extremely, extremely low voter turnout. So a big push that we're going to have over the next year before we really get cooking on like the campaigning side of it is voter registration early and now. And getting that first foot in the door of like, hi, I'm Erica. I don't care who you vote for. I just want you to vote. Yep. Like, and I want you to vote. Like, we have such low turnout. We have no representation because no one is out, is able to do that. So being able to do that and push for voter registration and just general information, get to know people, get to know what organizations people are with, get to know what people are worried about, and be able to kind of help people when I can, as well as make connections if I can. Get to know the unions out here because we have lots of like chapters and like we have like different we have a lot of shit out here, surprisingly, and then farmers and everything else. So a lot of it is just honestly just getting into the community and just fucking talking to people and not just like talking at them. You know what I mean? So that's a huge part of it. So.
Yeah, and I think that there's so much, like you said, if you just can say, hey, I'm not here to represent the Democrats, I'm not here to represent the Republicans, the issues themselves are all winners when you're on the left, right? Medicare for all is popular. The Green New Deal is popular. Getting out of the wars are popular. So you're literally, fighting a battle on higher ground, right? It's just getting people to actually open their ears and listen to you, and also let them know, like, I'm for real about this.